What's up? AtoZSports live on a Wednesday. Going to have a good conversation today about Cam Ward and what he can do for the last 4 games of this Titans rookie season for him. Can he flip the script? Can he change the narrative on his rookie quarterback season and build on some positives? Obviously, the Titans coming off a win against the Browns, going to the West Coast this upcoming Sunday. So we'll start to turn the page to that and the last 4 games of the season. And JT will kind of like play a different version of a game we somewhat played earlier in the season about comparing Cam to some blind rookie quarterback resumes to figure out, like, is he going to graduate a little bit beyond one? So we'll figure that out. I believe you're muted, by the way. So you might want to fix that.
Yes,
it
appears I am.
I saw your mouth moving, but
I said, "Oh yes, I remember that very well."
Yes. Maybe we'll pull if you could actually. While I'm bloviating, if you want to pull up a couple of those graphics that you remember of the ones that are the most comparable, maybe we can use those too. So no, we're gonna have a good show today talking about Cam Ward. We'll also talk about a couple other Titans who are really deserving of accolades this season, as miserable as this year has been for most. We're going to have a good conversation about that. Then trivia, our first crack at trivia this week. So let's have a good show here on this Wednesday. No help at all from Easton Freeze on this show whatsoever. So we appreciate his efforts this morning. But JT, what's up? Welcome in.
Yes, what's up? Good to see you. Good to see the A to Z crew this morning. Always a pleasure as well. Yeah, Easton this morning. We've learned a few things about Easton in our short time here this season. Graphic design being his passion is not one of them. But either way, we are here.
Or promptness.
Well, that was a given, I think, from the get-go with Easton Freeze. You kind of get what you expect on that one, but good to see all of you guys here this
Should
morning.
we start calling him Easton Molasses?
Easton Molasses. Easton frozen in time. Easton
Freeze is also when his internet doesn't work because he continuously has issues that nobody else has issues with, knocking on wood. With, like yesterday when he just stops working. His video stopped. I don't know.
Either way, we'll have to workshop that one. But good to see all of you guys this morning. What's up, Corey? What's up, Edward? Orlando, Roger, and glad to see that you've come off the questionable list after falling through a elevator shaft with your wife. You are here.
Wait, say what?
You missed this?
Okay, we'll get that. We'll get that.
Good to see that you'll be here for trivia today. Rooney, Darren, J-Dub, good to see all of you guys this morning. Excited to get into today's discussion because I think it's going to be a little bit, it's going to be a good one. Not as heated. I think we're all going to be on the same page a lot today, so that's going to be good. But excited to get into today's conversation. Need a couple things from you guys before we start. First and foremost, like the show, especially if you're on YouTube. We appreciate you getting that like number up. Make sure you're also subscribed to the A to Z Sports YouTube channel so you don't miss out on any of the content we are bringing you here today. If you're watching on Facebook, we appreciate you also watching over there. Make sure you hit that like button. I'm looking right now. Okay, we're doing good.
Okay.
This is the first morning where we are exceeding expectations on the like button. You guys are learning. We're almost at 100% like rate for the people watching on YouTube right now. I'm sure that will change as more people start to fill in, but you guys are setting a good precedent this morning. That doesn't mean you can stop though. Like the show over there, like the page, hit that share button and share the show with a friend. And Austin, with that being said, let's get going.
So officially welcome to AtoZSports here live on a Wednesday. I'm Austin Stanley. He is JT Runke. We're powered by the BTA Sports app, and we go live every weekday morning at 8 Central Time on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Links to the show, segment by segment, on our Twitter X timeline. Hit us up there at AtoZSports. Also Instagram, TikTok, Threads, every other social outlet you could possibly have. Follow us at AtoZSports for great Titans content. Just through that Google link, you can follow us on Google. Have us, AtoZSports, as a preferred source. So whenever you Google Titans stuff, A to Z pops up. That goes a long way for us. It helps out us a lot. And so do our sponsors. And they also help you out. The sponsors do. Wilson County Hyundai, make them a part of your new car buying process. WilsonCountyHyundai.com. The Bone and Joint Institute, boneandjointtn.org, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care. Barton Drury Insurance Group, customized solutions for all of your insurance needs, local and online, bartondrury.com. Boatyard Carts, life is short. Get yourself a golf cart, 2 locations in the Nashville area, in Gallatin and Columbia, and our friends at Window Nation. 50% off all windows styles through the end of the year. A free estimate that's well worth it. WindowNation.com. So I guess we have to address a couple things before we officially dive into our Cam Ward topic. The first of which is not going to take as long as the second. I said Easton Molasses, which is not does not flow very well, but he's constantly late. We were waiting on him to make the show graphic. It turns out he sent one in, and mine that I was whipping up quickly was better. So we used mine. That's why he didn't have any impact on the show today. So there's that.
Yes.
And then he's also not prompt. So I said Easton Molasses, and Jason nailed it. It's Easton Snooze. That is the name. Easton Snooze.
There's also I'm just realizing now, as the chat also realizes, that you have made a typo on the graphic as well. It doesn't say can Cam flip the script. It says can Cam.
See, you know what? That's why.
That's on Easton. That is on Easton.
It is. And it's also on autocorrect.
Yes.
And so I will address that briefly.
We appreciate you, everybody in the chat.
Can
flip the script. Yes, and then the second one, which you missed out, our dear friend Ann Herndon, the champion of trivia queen of trivia. Yesterday, her shade was on the city of Cleveland, in which she was at the game last week against the Titans. And she said yesterday, basically along the lines, as she says here, an elevator in a parking garage in Cleveland plummeted her and her wife to the bottom of the elevator shaft below the lowest level. They were talking about how they were like in free fall for a second. Apparently she's fine. No major injuries, just a lot of trauma. And so we were wondering yesterday if she was going to be able to be on the trivia team today. She came in questionable due to traumatic experiences. We didn't know if she was going to be able to gear up, but it sounds like she is here today, ready to go. So that is a good sign. So we're glad that she is safe.
Yeah, that's crazy. I feel like everybody has that nightmare dream of like, or that like thing happened in the elevator and you're like freaking out for a second, everything's okay. But geez, that is terrifying. That's some Final Destination stuff.
It's also just known as the city of Cleveland. So you think you can also put that on the city of Cleveland. So, and she aced her. That's some good news on a.
Wait, how many nursing exams are you taking? And because I feel like you had your good news the week before or something like that was you having the 98th percentile or something like that. I remember Robert Walsh was talking to you, talking about your other ones a month or so. I don't know, but maybe there's a million of them because it's important to be a nurse and you have to be good at it. So anyway, all right, let's go ahead and get to the topic at hand now that I flipped the flipped the script on the narrative. So I think we all understand. The national narrative of Cam Ward as the number 1 overall draft pick, starting quarterback for the worst team in football yet again, maybe second worst team in football. Technically, I don't know who the worst team in football is, but the Titans are tied for it from the record standpoint. Is that Cam is not a very good quarterback, right? Is it that I think we all understand that people are confused on how inept the Titans offense truly is. So JT, you made a graphic of Cam Ward's season stats through 13 games, just over 2,400, under 2,500 passing yards on the year, 9 touchdowns to 7 interceptions, a clip under 60% completion, and he's been sacked 49 whopping times. So he's got 4 games left. And I don't know when this was. A few weeks ago, JT, you and I were kind of comparing how bad the counting stats are for Cam Ward this year to other 17-game samples for some of the worst rookie quarterback performances in recent history. And Cam Ward was on the same level of Josh Rosen, but also kind of Josh Allen. And then Bryce Young, right?
Yes.
And there was another quarterback in there too. I can't remember. There was a fourth. Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence, yes.
Yeah, so, and Josh Allen's the only one of those four that has truly emerged out of a really gross feeling rookie campaign. Josh Rosen doesn't exist anymore. Bryce Young is still like, the Panthers are way better. And actually, the Panthers and the Jags, Bryce Young and Trevor Lawrence are kind of Spider-Man meme, except one Spider-Man's a lot smaller than the other Spider-Man. But they're kind of like, are they good?
Mm-hmm.
Like, the team's better, clearly, around them. But is the quarterback good? Trevor's getting paid also a lot more than the small Spider-Man. So I don't know. But that's kind of where Cam Ward's in. So what can Cam Ward accomplish? That's kind of the idea to figure out here, is what can Cam Ward accomplish over these last 4 games to kind of get out of that funk, to get out of that Bryce Young, Josh Rosen, Trevor Lawrence gross rookie stats, to say, okay, maybe he can flip this thing around and go into year 2. So what are your thoughts on not what he needs to accomplish, JT, but before we to set up the question more fully, what are your ideas here and thoughts on this topic?
Yeah, I certainly believe that there has been a lot more good. This is in the past 2 weeks or 2 or 3 weeks, this has been the best development I've seen from Cam all season. It's kind of the culmination of the development I wanted to see from him earlier in the season. And we're getting to it maybe a little bit later than maybe it could have had been if, your coach was still here, if it wasn't just a huge dysfunctional mess of a franchise and the things around Cam were a little bit better earlier in the season. But this, over the last 2 to 3 weeks, has been some of the best development I've seen for Cam, in terms of where he's placing the ball, in terms of his mechanics, in terms of his decision making. He's becoming a lot more complete, and it hasn't maybe shown up in the box score, but and I think that's a result of the kind of level of talent you have around him and this team and its makeup. But I think you're starting to see really good, consistent progress from Cam, which before that you had some really high highs and then the lows were extremely low. And I think that was just not conducive to success for Cam Ward early in the seasons. But you're starting to see that level out. You're starting to see the consistency and him continue to get better. And so I do think that we're going to, if he can maintain this level of consistency against 2 pretty good teams and then 2 maybe not so great teams, well, maybe one is in the middle there, but like some mixed bag of talent coming up over the last 4 games of the season, I think there is a legit conversation to be had that we kind of end the season and can always look back on it with recency bias, saying, yeah, maybe the first half of the season was not great for Cam Ward's development, but he really turned it around over the last part of the season. And there's a lot of good things to feel good about with Cam, a lot of good things to build off of with Cam. Those things I think are going to be the most important. And I did, in fact, go and find some of our mystery quarterback things here.
Well,
I have 2 of those. So
perfect. We will get to those in a moment, but I'm going to show Cam's current numbers here. So he's got just under 2,500 yards passing, 9 touchdown passes, 7 interceptions, 60% completion. I'll round them up 0.3. Sacks 49 times. So that's his 13 game numbers. And I think we all understand watching the show that nationally, this is not meant to be offensive, but the casuals, the ones that are not dialed into the Titans, because why should anybody outside of the area be dialed into the Titans? But those are just kind of checking in on Cam Ward, probably go, ugh, and so like that's.
I might push back against that. I think it's an interesting litmus test. The first takes and the first things first of the world
But
while
that's what I'm
they're
talking about.
right.
And
I guess
unfortunately,
okay.
those are the people that move the needle for the public.
Fair enough. Okay.
Because
Because I was gonna
the
say
public,
I think there's a litmus test between like national ball talkers like the Athletic and the guys over there
sure,
who have really been in like even guys on ESPN like Dan Orlovsky who have felt really good about Cam. I get what you're saying though. The loudest voices in the room seem to not really care, and that's going to carry the most weight. So
it's
fair enough.
basically like in high school, you have AP courses, you have honors classes, and then you just have like the regular classes. And there's a different opinion about Cam Ward in all of those different classrooms. And so I think, but I'm talking about the regular classes because that's the one with the most people in it because they're doing other stuff with their day. Like if they're not Titans fans and if they're, NFL fans that pay attention to the league or they pay attention to their team and they just happen to see Cam Ward's numbers like, that's not good. That's not what a rookie quarterback's supposed to look like. Then they're going to be pretty poo-poo on this. So let's ask this question of the audience. Just and I'll go over his numbers again. How many yards, touchdowns, and interceptions does Cam need to have on the season for this negative narrative, the negative box score narrative to go away? Not to like have it flip the other way around, but just to like have it stop being the conversation. So how many yards, touchdowns, interceptions does he need to have on the season for people to stop leading with the box score narrative of Cam Ward? And so it's, currently numbers 9 touchdowns, 7 picks, 2,500 yards. So I really want to focus on those 3: yards, touchdowns, picks. How many for the full season does he need to have for this to not be the lead of Cam Ward, the box score stats? But first, JT, tell us about our friends at Botero Carts.
Yeah, Botero Carts, life is short. Got to buy a golf cart, especially with the upcoming holiday season. And there's no better place to buy your new golf cart than with our friends at Botero Carts. They make it so easy to get your new golf cart and ring in the new year. 0% financing for 36 months. Cart starting at just $6,700. They're open 7 days a week with a full service sale and rental dealership that is locally owned and operated to serve you here in the Middle Tennessee area. 1 location in Gallatin, 1 location in Columbia, their new location. There's no dealer fee, no credit card fee, so no hidden fees when you buy your shiny new golf cart. And it is shiny and new because they keep them all stored indoors, out of the elements, out of the cold, out of the weather. And they also have a no credit needed option if you want to take that route. Like I said, it's the holiday season coming up. And what better gift to gift to your loved ones than a shiny new golf cart? Because life is short and you got to buy a golf cart. And when you decide to do that, you got to do it with our friends at Botero Carts.
BTA Sports is better for sports bettors to help you be a smarter sports bettor. I need to get back into BTA Sports because I have been getting my world rocked by college football down the stretch, and it is time to amp up for the playoff push for the NFL. There's money to be made, and BTA Sports can help you out. Use the code ATOZSports. That's ATOZSports with BTA Sports, and that gets you a 14-day free trial plus $79 12-month subscription. Guys, it's going to be well worth it because you're going to make your money back pretty quickly on the NFL season and playoffs. Plus, Major League Baseball comes next year, and you just get lumped into that too. So that's great. Basically, you get Major League Baseball for free and the beginning of the majority of next football season as well. So BTA Sports better for sports bettors. So we asked the question, what do Cam Ward's yards, touchdowns, and interceptions need to look like for him to kill the negative box score narrative? And it's, to not lead with the box score narrative. And I saw Tall Texan had this comment. It isn't about stats. Watch the damn games. And Tall Texan, yes, you're correct, but that's not the conversation we're trying to have. The conversation we're trying to have is about the majority of the public that are not taking honors classes and certainly aren't taking AP classes. They're taking regular damn math, regular English, and they're just trying to get through. And they're fans of other teams and look at Cam Ward and think, yuck. What do these numbers need to look like at the end of the season for those fans to not just say yuck, right? How do you kill the box score negative lead when you have a conversation about Cam Ward in the first couple months of 2026? That's all I want to ask here. So JT, to the chat you go. Let's see what people have to say.
Yeah, D-Dread says he wants to see. So currently, I believe he's at what, nine touchdowns?
Nine and 7.
D-Dread says that he wants to see 15 plus touchdowns thrown. So that is
4 games
at
left.
least 6 touchdowns in the next 4 games, which is going to be very interesting. Unrealistic. Steven says he wants to see 10 more touchdowns in the last 4 games and no interceptions. Unrealistic. Unrealistic.
No.
Well,
that, I guess, to those two answers mean that they don't think there's a realistic chance that the negative box score narrative is going to go away.
Fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. Daniel Caribbean says 3,000 plus yards. Also believes that there needs to be 15 touchdowns, so 6 touchdowns in the next 4 games and only 8. So 6 touchdowns to 2 more interceptions and one more pick, and over 500 yards over the next 4 games. Darren also believes
touchdowns in 4 games shouldn't be untouchable.
It's not untouchable.
Shouldn't be.
Currently in their situation.
He just threw his first 2 touchdown game on Sunday.
This is true. Darren also believes 14 to 15 touchdowns and no more interceptions. Chris thinks he needs to get to 12 more touchdowns. This is just to end the season, people. This isn't next year.
Good Lord.
This is right now with 4 games. Coach Wills, 16 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, 3,300 yards.
If Cam Ward, honestly, if Cam Ward finishes the season with like 18 touchdown passes, he should be AFC Player of the Month.
Yes, I think
because
so.
that means he would have 11 touchdown passes in his last 5 games, and he had 7 in his first 12.
Yes.
Plus,
Yeah, and once again, this is to end the year with his box score. This isn't next year. This is just this year. And Johnny says over 3,000 yards, 15 touchdowns, less than 10 interceptions. Jeff says he's changing his to 3,200 yards, 16 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Corey says he wants less than 10 interceptions. Scotty says 3,200 yards, 15 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. I think anything more is just plus there. This is...
Well, but hey, I don't I understand, like you're saying, man, everybody's on that 15 touchdown passes number is very popular.
It is very popular.
I don't disagree though with that, because we're asking a question that is actually fair for them to feel that way, right? It's how many yards, touchdowns, interceptions does Cam Ward need to finish with to kill the negative box score narrative? If you're trying to kill it, it's pretty strong right now. And I don't think I'm not going to argue against that 15 number. I just don't know if it's necessarily realistic or not.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. If I had to give mine right now, how many you would ask to kill the narrative fully? So I think that is fair. 15. Fair enough. Like 3,200 yards, 15, 8 interceptions. That probably does kill the narrative there. For me, the narrative pretty much dies if he gets to 3,000 yards, 13 touchdowns. And
for you personally? For
me personally, I would kill the narrative with over 3,000 yards, 13 touchdowns to 9 interceptions.
So that's 2-to-1 touchdown interception ratio the rest of the way.
Yes.
At least 4 more touchdown passes.
Yes.
And then 530 yards in 4 games.
Yeah.
530 yards in 4 games is not like a lot, right?
No, it shouldn't be.
Again, should be. It's 133 per game. So He just threw for 117 in the snow and 2 touchdowns and 1 pick. So he would need to do kind of that game 4 more times with a little bit more yards in there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's your answer for your opinion.
Yes.
But do you think him having 13 touchdowns and 9 picks and just over 3,000 yards is going to change the public's opinion at all?
It's hard. I really do think there is, you get over 11, and I think it does for me personally. Because I think you look at some
Over
of the quarterbacks.
11?
Yeah. I mean, some of the quarterbacks in the last couple of years, like we did on that show, have barely touched 11 touchdowns.
Okay. All right. So this is quarterback 3. I don't remember don't tell me. I don't remember who this is.
Okay.
But Cam should be able to do this. And I actually, if he does 11 touchdowns, 10 picks, that's probably not good the rest of the way.
Yeah.
So he needs to be better than this. Is this Bryce?
Yes.
Okay. So I think he is on track of having a better first overall pick rookie season than Bryce Young statistically.
Yes. And that is basically the crux of my argument. Like, that is where
that's a low bar.
Right. I mean, I think that's where we are, though, realistically. I would like to see him get above that bar. And I think the narrative would be that there's something here and that you're going into next year feeling good.
Bork says that shadow figure is too tall for Bryce. We weren't trying to give it away. We were trying to hide it when we were using that. So come on now. I agree with CW Perry. That's an extremely low bar. The Bear says JT was a number 1 overall pick in the draft. The expectations have to be much higher, especially when you're talking about the public opinion. Like, and that's true.
If they are, they would be talking about him. But like, he's the most not talked about number 1 pick ever. Like, it's so much. I feel like the expectations can be higher, but I don't feel like they were at all to begin with because he was barely talked about.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think you have to look at, he certainly did not have the media prowess of a Trevor Lawrence or a Bryce Young or a Kyler Murray or any of that coming out. He barely gets talked about. I mean, on weekly shows, he's being left off of QB rankings altogether. Over the entire season. Like, Joe Flacco is, even when he's not playing, is still making these quarterback ranking lists over Cam Ward, who isn't even being put on. Like, feels like there are no expectations right now for him nationally because he's not being talked about at all.
Yeah. So DeClown, who is admitting to being a clown and a Jags fan, says Bryce, Trevor, Cam all have weapons that are not starters on most teams, let alone with a rookie that can do anything with their first season. So I do think Cam's in that Bryce Young, Trevor Lawrence range. It's just, what does he do, like rookie performance numbers? Because Trevor Lawrence was not much better than Bryce Young statistically as a rookie. That was the Urban Meyer season. So all 3 of these guys had their head coaches fired in their rookie seasons. I believe Cam's was fired way earlier than the other 2.
Yes, I think Frank Reich was fired 4 games after, like, week 10-ish.
Yeah, and I know Urban's was fired in December.
Yeah, so like week 13-ish.
Right after the Titans game and after the allegations of him kicking the kicker or kicking the punter, punting the kicker. That's what it was. So all right, I haven't gotten to my answer yet. I do have my answer coming. I've also got a super chat and some other comments that I've put a note on to discuss on this conversation. So how can Cam Ward kill the negative box score narrative with the last 4 games of the season? JT, tell us all about the Bone and Joint Institute.
Yeah, the Bone and Joint Institute, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedics and sports medicine. Don't fumble your recovery whenever you get hurt in life. You have to know who to trust. And that's why we here at AtoZSports trust the Bone and Joint Institute, which is located in Franklin, with over a dozen specialists who can help you through any type of injury. They have a state-of-the-art rehab facility on campus to help your recovery and can do everything under one roof for your convenience, whether that's the clinic, testing, imaging, surgery, and rehab. They've got you covered. To schedule an appointment or at that location up in Franklin, right off of I-65, or any of their satellite locations, go to boneandjointtn.org.
BTA Sports, better for sports bettors. I just told you in the last break that you can use the code ATOZSports to get a $79 12-month subscription after a 14-day free trial. That is the best deal. Like, that is a great deal. But maybe you don't want to invest $80 into that 12-month. That's fine. I understand that. So you can still get a 14-day free trial for a weekly subscription of $9.99 with code ATOZ14. So you can do that. The link is in the subscription. The link is in the title of the show on Facebook. The description on YouTube for you. Better for sports bettors is BTA Sports. Legitimately, I got my money back after week 2 of the NFL season. They've helped me win parlays of like plus 300 or more. Finding that third or fourth leg for the parlay is great for that. Or just finding ways to cover single bets there in the NFL as well with BTA Sports. Super smart guys over there. So, again, the question is, how can Cam Ward kill the negative box score narrative? What does he need to have? JT, your numbers were just over 3,000 yards, 13 touchdowns to 9 interceptions. So 4 more touchdown passes in the last 4 games to 2 interceptions. I think he needs to have 15 touchdowns. I agree with that number. 15 touchdown passes on the season and single digits of interceptions. That's going to be hard to do.
Really? I mean,
yes.
I think we saw in the chat, someone pointed this out. I mean, until the broadcast talked about him having a big consecutive streak without throwing a pick, he was throwing pretty well. Like, I think Cam is, it's more likely that Cam doesn't throw 2 more interceptions than he gets to 15 touchdowns, I think.
I would agree. I think the touchdown numbers is harder to get to, but I'm looking at what he's got on the schedule. You're going to San Francisco. That's a playoff defense. Now they don't rush the passer that well.
They're actually the Niners, like, worse than the Titans in some aspects.
The Titans are actually way better at rushing the passer than we give them credit for. The Titans are a easily top half of the NFL pressure creators at the quarterback, and the Niners are not. So but they have a good defense, and we all know that's going to be a tough game for the Titans in general anyway. But the Chiefs are going to have their lives on the line, and the Chiefs defense is still very legitimate with when they want to be, when they have to be, they can be, absolutely. The Saints are the Saints, we all know that. But then the Jags, we don't know what the Jags are going to be playing for in Week 18. The way the NFL set things up, there are less sit starters situations in the last week of the season than there used to be, because unless the Jags are locked in to the 4 seed, then they're going to be playing for something. The NFL race is just too tight right now. The Jags are currently 3rd, and I mean, they might be locked. I think they'd be more likely to be locked in the 3rd spot than they are the 4th spot. But the Texans are still going to win some games. Like, the AFC South is super competitive, with those 3 teams. You get the Broncos and the Patriots at the top. You don't know. The AFC North winner is probably going to be that 4 team, but it's a very slippery slope to go from the Jags spot at 3 all the way down to, are they going to make the playoffs?
Yeah.
So they can be the 3, 5, 6, 7 are out, right? Like, there's who knows. So they're going to be playing for something in that Week 18 game.
Potentially.
Oh, yes. No, it's going to happen. Like, the NFL is too good at setting up their schedules. They do not want these sit your starters weeks at the end of the year anymore.
Yeah.
That's why the divisional games, that's why they added the 7th playoff team when they added the 17th game. All of that stuff makes week 18 very important, way more than it used to be.
Yeah, and You are right. It comes down to a lot of what also the Texans have going on, and Texans actually don't. They have a very big division implication game also week 18 against the Colts. So how that shakes out, that's going to be very, very interesting. However, yeah, I agree. Is there still a way that they could be playing for that second or first seed? Maybe. It's going to be an interesting one, just how things can very much change on a dime. We've talked about that for the last 2 weeks with the Titans, going from that they're the first overall pick to now they might be even out of the top 5. Like, things change very fast. So you are right. I still think, though, depending on what happens the next couple of weeks, that is going to be a different game than the last time they played the Jags. I mean, that was we thought they quit on Mike McCoy game, so not a lot of good narrative coming out of that one. Things have realistically changed since then, over the past week and a half or so. So that could be the fact, but I do still think that, Cam has faced far tougher defenses than the 4 he's going to face the last 4 weeks of the season. And we haven't seen him have an implosion game or anything like that in terms of throwing multiple interceptions. He's been very smart with the ball. And so that's all to say that I think I feel pretty confident that he is going to finish the season with less than double-digit interceptions, just because I think he is smart with the ball. Certainly, he probably will take more sacks than chuck the ball up and make those opportunities for interceptions. It really comes down to the touchdown number, and that has a lot to do with the talent that he still has around him. If they continue to look like they did on Sunday and have those first scripted drives where they look really, really strong, I think you have a good chance, because obviously it was the first time they scored a touchdown on their opening drive all season. If they can do that and stack those, then I think you have a really good chance. But as we've seen so far this season, the good doesn't last long for this team. And so it's very easy to see that it could come back down to they're taking field goals and they're missing opportunities to go for it and things like that. And that could very much happen. So it's hard for me to see. It would take Cam Ward elevating this team once again to get to those numbers. And I think there's a lot going against him on that.
MB says, I think that after one game, the expectations have shut up without reason. I think they will struggle in the last 4 games. The game plan versus Cleveland was specific. Yeah, it was. But they should be very specific for every matchup. Just look at, that's the whole point of game planning against the opponent. All right. So a couple of the comments that I was looking at too. Let's see, where'd it go? Amnesia had a super chat. It's easy to criticize when you're not the one taking the hits. People need to realize that what he has been through: terrible schedule, practice squad, wide receivers, no O-line to protect, no run game, horrible head coach. And that's all those things are true with that. And that's where I think the hard part about this public narrative is that they don't care. They don't care. If they cared more, then they would know more. But all they do, and that's the unfortunate part of the world that we're in with social media and society, is that it's so much easier to have an opinion about things that you don't know anything about, and then have places to put those opinions about things that you know nothing about. And so that's going to happen to Cam Ward. So I truly do believe that 15 touchdown passes is what he has to get to. That's the most important number. He can have 15 touchdown passes and 10 picks. 15 and 10, okay, I'll live with that, right? And if he's getting 15 touchdown passes, then he's well over 3,000 yards. He's probably 31, 32, 100 yards in that. I did have 2 things that I think are positives. There is a couple schedule nuances that I think plays into helping Cam here. So I'm going to show the graphic again for the schedule. So they go to San Francisco. I don't know what the weather is in Northern California this time of year. It's probably going to be like foggy and chilly. That's just my guess. Then they come back to Nashville against the Chiefs and the Saints. So the Chiefs and the Saints, there's a very high chance that the Titans are going to be playing those noon games at Nissan Stadium. The sun may be out, but it's probably going to be chillier, cold, hopefully not like the cold rain type stuff. But today, it's going to be like 52 degrees at noon in Nashville. Oh, it'd be cool to have a 52-degree noonday in Nashville on December 21st against the Chiefs. That would be in Cam Ward's benefit, right? So the first scheduling nuance that I have here, the Music City Bowl. The Music City Bowl is played 2 days after the Saints game. The good thing, the Titans don't have a home game after the Music City Bowl, because I bet all the things that I know I can bet that Music City Bowl field will be so damn slippery on December 30th evening against Tennessee and Illinois that guys are going to be slipping all over the place and falling down. The broadcast going to be talking about it because the Titans and Saints played on it 2 days before, and it's at night in December, and it's going to be cold and wet, regardless if rain is falling or not. And that field's going to suck. So the good thing is the Titans don't play on it after that. The other good thing is week 18, it's January, and you're in Jacksonville.
It's good.
That's good.
There's also the idea that the Chiefs do play the Chargers this week, and they do need to win out. Like, if that Chiefs game is going to be so interesting in a week, because if they are eliminated this week, or pretty much eliminated this week with the Chargers win, like, what team do you get? Do you get like a super pissed off Kansas City Chiefs team? Do you get a depressed and demoralized Kansas City Chiefs team?
Yeah.
Like, what do you get in that game? That's going to be fascinating to see. But like, yeah, I think there's I think there's absolutely an opportunity for Cam Ward to get those numbers. If this is, like I said early in the show, if this is the consistent progress and development, if that's real, if this is what we are finally seeing, and it's not going to be the high highs and the low lows, if we are going to get consistent play where, he's going to make some mistakes, but he's throwing 2 touchdowns a game, he's operating the offense and it's working in his favor, and things are developing better than they had been, and they're being very concise and consistent and scripted on their drives, working very well on those drives. I think this is the Cam Ward that can get to 15 touchdowns. Will it happen? I'm not sure, but like, I think we're seeing the Cam Ward that can get there now instead of the Cam Ward from earlier.
Yeah, I don't disagree at all. Okay, let's go ahead and get to, those are the main comments. Randy had, my eye test tells me Cam will be fine, just needs some work on his long ball. Absolutely. And also King VC says, lock and like the show. If you have not liked the show yet, please do on Facebook and on YouTube. That goes a long way for us. So we appreciate King VC for the super chat, and hit that like button for us, please. Okay. I understand the Pro Bowl means nothing, but we want to ask you guys today, which Titans players legitimately deserve to have the Pro Bowl label attached to them this season? And we'll update you guys on some fan rankings for some Pro Bowl conversations. But which players deserve to have that label? Because the game itself of the Pro Bowl doesn't mean anything. But when you're talking about Hall of Fames and just resumes and career, the Pro Bowl label does matter. So which Titans deserve to have that Pro Bowl label overall on this season? We'll get to all of them, but first I want to tell you guys about Barton Drury Insurance Group, customized solutions for your insurance needs. They are local, and they are helping A to Z out for our insurance needs. Our workers' comp policy is a constant as we keep adding employees in different states. You have to update those, and Barton Drury's team does that for us, and no blink of an eye for us, and also for our employee benefits. So for health coverage, it's open enrollment season for us as a company and open enrollment for people across the country. But if you're looking for a new way to have your insurance for your family, for your personal, for your home, auto, your business insurance, or whatever the heck you have going on, 401k planning, the Barton Drury team has experts all across the board to help you out. They truly are a one-stop shop for all of your insurance needs. They've got it. They have the confidence. They can help you through a very complicated, sometimes intimidating situation when talking about insurance, because nobody wants to get screwed over with their insurance. Nobody wants to pay for their insurance, but you kind of need it, but pay less. And the Barton Drury team can help you out online, bartondrury.com.
Yeah, we are also powered by BTA Sports. BTA, better for betters. Once again, use that code ATOZSports when you download the app to get a 14-day free trial. $79.99 for the yearly pass after that. Includes all of the upcoming MLB season. That's right, they're adding MLB to BTA Sports. Going to be exciting. And then you get basically the entirety of next NFL season, minus 2 weeks. You get all the way up to week 16 of the 2026 season when you use that code ATOZ Sports right now. $80 for the entire next year. BTA Sports is better for betters.
All right, JT, I'll send you the chat here in a second, but let's go ahead. Actually, no, let's go to the chat first before we show the rankings. Let's go to the chat. So which Titans legitimately deserve to have a Pro Bowl label attached to them for this season? So I'll let you see what people are saying.
Yeah, Darren kicks us off here, and he says Chimray DK and Jeff only in his book. The aircraft carrier says Jeffrey Simmons. So I'm glad an aircraft carrier has an opinion on the Titans here. Curtis says Jeff and hopefully Cedric Gray. Simmons says Mark there. Hashtag QJ says Jeff and Chimray DK. D-Dread says Jeff, that is all. Joshua says Chimray DK. Scotty says Simmons and Skoronsky. CW Perry says Chimray DK and Simmons. Jeff Rubel says Simmons, and that's about it. Scott Weaver says Big Jeff Simmons and Chimray DK. Darius says Chimray DK, Jeff and Skoronsky. Maybe Cedric Gray as well. Junior says Gray, Simmons, and DK, no question. Rooney says Chimray DK, Justin Simmons, DK, and Gray. Jeff Gray and DK. MB says Simmons, and that's it. Jason says Jeff Simmons and Skoronsky. Brad says Simmons and DK. Will says Pete Skoronsky needs to be a Pro Bowler. Rooney says Simmons. CW says DK and Simmons. Peter Skoronsky. And I think this is
Chimichanga.
He's calling him Chimichanga there, Jake. Eric says Corey Levin. He is
different language of origin. Chim and Chimichanga.
I'm fairly. I hope this is the case because Jason says forgot about DK, and also says Jeff Simmons, GK, and Morgan Cox. How about some love for Morgan Cox here? That's the first time I've seen him. I'm surprised that a lot of people are saying like Jeffrey Simmons and that's it. I'm pretty wild that like it's not a consensus like Jeff Simmons and Chimray DK.
Yes, that's and Morgan Cox. I think
Morgan Cox as well. Yeah, sure.
He is just, there's a long snapper, there's a return specialist, and then there's a special teamer, like a tackler, for lack of a better term, for that special teamer. So I think the Titans, the only reason why, who is more deserving between those two guys, Chim DK and Morgan Cox, for this season? I think it's Chim. Yeah, it's DK.
Absolutely.
So can the Titans possibly get 2 out of the 3 special teamers on the AFC Pro Bowl? Because there's only one. It's like
built
one.
Different.
Yeah. Hey, look, man. Hey, they flipped the script from last year. That's for damn sure on the special team
MB. And so MB brings up, and I think this is where we can get to the rankings. MB says it's a popularity contest. There's no attention on the Titans. I don't
comes to the special teamers.
Yeah, not when it comes to the special teamers here, because if we want to pull up that graphic here, which Jim White had here currently, the second round of fan voting, Jeffrey Simmons ranks 3rd among defensive tackles. And so I believe the fan voting counts for 20% of the actual Pro Bowl voting. So this
players,
is
coaches,
coaches, fans. Fans count for 20%. So 20% believe that of the vote believe that Jeff Simmons is the 3rd defensive tackle. That's kind of maybe puts him as a lock, in my opinion. You have about 3 or 4 defensive tackles as Pro Bowlers. Chimere
Well,
DK.
this doesn't tell you. This isn't AFC voting. This is just
This is straight up. Straight up. Chimere DK ranks second among return specialists. So second, getting certainly some love there from the fan voting. Cedric Gray ranks 10th among interior linebackers. Kevin Zeitler, of all people, getting the most name recognition vote I've ever seen in my entire life, ranks 9th among guards, and there's no other Titans in the top 10. So when it comes to saying that the Titans don't get any credit, I would push back on that right now, especially with Chimere DK and Jeffrey Simmons. They are in the top 3 of voting at their respective positions. Now, not wide receiver for Chimere DK, but in terms of a return specialist, which is where he's flashed the most, he's getting the recognition right now. If I tried to look up who is number 1 right now in fan voting, I couldn't find it. If I had to guess, I imagine it's Kevontae Turpin, and that's just because of brand recognition with the Cowboys, if I had to guess. But like Chimere DK being second, I think is up there as well.
Yeah, I was going to look for that as well and wasn't immediately finding it. I think here's the thing. Fans, if you as a fan are going to vote on the Pro Bowl, you probably are just skipping the long snapper category.
Fair enough. Yeah.
So, I don't know what that means. So Chim DK, Jeffrey Simmons should be shoe-ins for Pro Bowl nods. I think the conversation is, does Peter Skoronski deserve to have a Pro Bowl label to his name for his season this year?
I think absolutely. And I think the chat is kind of chiming in here. Like, how does Kevin's, that's where popularity does play a part, because how in the heck does Kevin Zeitler, how the heck is Kevin Zeitler 9th in guard voting? Like, that is just goes to show that is name recognition, because Peter Skoronski has been miles and miles better than Kevin Zeitler this season. So it certainly is not because of the play on the field. It's that name recognition, and Peter Skoronski just doesn't have that name recognition, and I wouldn't expect many guards to have that name recognition, but especially a guard on the Titans is not going to get that, not named Kevin Zeitler, who's been around for 15 years in the back of people's minds. I think he absolutely does deserve, though. If there were 3 guys who deserve to be in the Pro Bowl this year, I think it's Jeff, Chimere DK, and Peter Skoronski. He's been playing like an all-pro for the majority of this season. He's been the one guy on this offensive line who we barely have talked about, and that's a really good thing. He's been the guy that has seemingly had no issues. I mean, he's lost a few reps here and there, but he has not been a major problem. He's been a solid piece of this offensive line and absolutely deserving of Peter Skoronski extension talk this offseason as we get closer and closer to his rookie deal being up. I think Peter Skoronski absolutely right now, based on his play alone, deserves to be in that Pro Bowl conversation.
Yeah, so I did find the leading vote getter by position by conference, if you followed that.
Okay. Yes.
So Chimere DK is the leading vote getter for return specialist for the AFC. You're correct. Kevontae Turpin is the leading vote getter for the NFC, meaning that it's Turpin 1, DK 2 is overall fan votes. For defensive tackle, the top 2 vote getters for each conference, Byron Murphy of Seattle, so that's not the AFC, and then Zach Allen in Denver is the AFC. So Jeff is probably, I would understand, Jeff is the next guy,
yes.
Right? So meaning he is likely to just be a shoe in there. So I don't think Peter Skoronski is going to make the Pro Bowl. Obviously,
he's not.
I honestly don't think he deserves it this year.
Really?
Yeah, I think part of me just says the offensive line is such a pride and group effort position that if I were Peter Skoronski and you're looking at your quarterback who's been sacked 49 times through 13 games, it's not nobody on that list, nobody on that line nobody involved in that deserves to have a Pro Bowl label attached to them. Fair?
I think that's fair.
Yes.
I think that's fair. It is a 5-man job.
Are they going to
Is he
get
the best?
60? Is 60 going to happen?
No, I don't think so. I feel
That's
pretty
3
strongly.
game the last 4.
I feel pretty strongly that that's not going to happen.
55.
That's realistic. Like 6 sacks in the last 4 games. That's realistic.
You feel better about that than 6 touchdown passes in the last 4 games? You should, because that would be 55 and 15. It'd be very different. It'd be more like status quo. That's actually an improvement for the sacks trajectory there. So, I mean,
yeah, I think that's fair. That does give him a bad rep, even though he's been individually a strong
and Mark, most sacks are on Ward, not the line. I don't know about most, but yeah, like if you're saying which individuals should have the most sacks attributed to their name, Cam Ward's probably 1 or 2.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I do want to talk about this one real quick. Edward says, I want to know why JT is putting DK as a Pro Bowler, but downplaying his all-purpose yards. He's a Pro Bowler because he's the best returner. We're not comparing him in this conversation to Jonathan Taylor and Jackson Smith and Jigba in this conversation. Like, that is a totally different conversation that we're having.
I honestly, though, with the new kickoff return, I do think it's a way more important job today in the NFL than it was the previous 15 years.
Sure, right. But like that's
that's a real play, guys. Like, that's strategy, right? It's skill, it's technique, it's execution on everybody. It's the kickers are coming up with how can they kick the ugliest thing down the field to land in the landing zone and make it tough to field without going out of bounds, to where you can go get the guy and gain yardage on the touchback line. Like, correct. I think that's and Tim DK that's a legitimate football play now.
And that is why he's a Pro Bowler, because he's really good at that. But does that mean that we should be comparing him to Jonathan Taylor and JSN and in terms of all-purpose yards? I don't think so. So
but
that's what he's saying, though. That's what he's saying that
no, that's what you're doing. You are comparing Chim. Nobody else, I don't think, is comparing Chim DK to Jonathan Taylor.
Yes, this was a whole conversation. Do you remember that graphic?
Yeah, it's the all-purpose yards like that. But normally, people that lead the all-purpose yards return in some form or fashion.
Right.
That's how you do it.
Correct. So it should not be judged on. You should be judged.
That's what the stat is. That's what the stat is. All-purpose yards.
Right. And he's good at that. It doesn't mean he's up there.
No, he's not in the running for AFC Offensive Player of the Year like Jonathan Taylor is.
Yeah,
he's leading the all-purpose yards number. That's what it is. That's all that it is. It doesn't need to be more than that. Nobody's trying to make it more than that. You're not comparing Chim DK to any of those other guys that are catching and running for yards and scoring those touchdowns. Chim is doing his thing really, really damn well.
Yeah. Huh? And why? Well, you were in that stat graphic, but not
because
ours.
They're also like, it's actually a compliment to the guys that have 0 return yards that are up in the top 5 of the all-purpose yards.
I'm not going to have this conversation again. I think it's silly to put him next to Jonathan Taylor in that.
What do you mean it's silly? It's stats. It's counting numbers. So there's no opinion here. JT, it's a stat, and that's how the numbers count up.
I think it's silly.
No. It cannot. It is impossible for this to be silly. It is math.
Right.
So there's no silliness. It is a stat and it is the math. So therefore, there's no silly. It is what it is. What do you mean it's silly?
So here's the thing.
Like it's not silly. It is what it is.
I kind
of the way
agree.
You are approaching it is incorrect.
I think
you have the wrong mentality.
All yards aren't counted equally here.
Nobody's saying they are. It's all-purpose yards. I think it lives in the lane it needs to live in.
So
you are trying to merge it unnecessarily. Nobody else is trying to do this.
Right. So the conversation here is that, yes, I believe he's a Pro Bowler.
Yeah.
Like coming back to this is what it is. He's a Pro Bowler, but it doesn't mean that he's the greatest offensive player ever this year.
Yeah. Nobody's saying that.
Okay. That was
Nobody is saying that.
That is what the conversation was when we had this show.
Who?
So,
Why? Who's having that?
when we had the show with the graphic, that was the conversation.
Between you and Easton?
Yes.
Then that's y'all's fault.
Okay.
Because nobody's having that conversation seriously.
Okay. Fair enough then. Fair enough.
He's number 1 in all-purpose yards.
Fair enough.
There it is. It's a stat that has numbers attached to it. That's it.
All right.
And he's doing very well at that.
He is. That's why he deserves to be a Pro Bowler.
Exactly. But it's not silly. All right. You ready for trivia? So we can be on the same team again?
Sure.
All right. I got a little I guess when was that show? I do not remember y'all doing that show.
When I'll go look at it.
You don't have to remember. I was clearly, maybe that was a day that I was not on the planning call or something. I have no recollection of the conversation, because I would have been like, okay. I feel like I'm an old man yelling at stuff. All right. Anyway, let's do trivia and we'll be all on the same team again. There's a weird delay on my end on that.
It was very weird.
Shout out to Wilson County Hyundai. Make them a part of your new car buying process. Go see them in Lebanon or online at wilsoncountyhyundai.com. It is time for me to share my screen, which is probably not going to go very smoothly because that took forever to play the graphic. But here we go, JT. Let me know what you see. It's trying to share.
Oh.
It's trying to go.
There we go.
Ah, miserable. Okay. But the board looks doable.
Sure.
Serial, NBA.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do this.
We'll see. Yeah, I think we can do this. What's the over-under? Do we have an over-under?
I don't see Orlando, our line setter.
Oh, well.
Ann's here, though.
Ann is here, so.
Okay, maybe I do need
to get going.
Let's do it. All right, NFL. What AFC West team did the Rams defeat during the famous 2022 game where Baker Mayfield led them to a win only 2 days after they joined the team? Oh, the Raiders?
I want to say the Raiders. That sounds right.
Yeah,
I think it's the Raiders.
Said Raiders. Got it. History. Let's Move was a public health campaign initiated by this U.S. First Lady as a means to combat childhood obesity. I don't know.
I think it's Michelle Obama. I think this feels
was
like
it that
Michelle
recent?
Obama. I think so. Yeah.
Are we sure?
I think so.
Okay.
And okay.
All right, TV. With hundreds of hours performing on WWE television over the last 2 decades, this wrestler is set to have his final career match this weekend on Saturday night's main event. Hell if I know.
John Cena.
Is that right?
I don't know. That's the only one I know.
You said that kind of confidently.
Here,
it says John Cena.
Really?
That's what he said.
I'm not a WWE guy. Everyone says John Cena, so okay.
Right. We should have known. Yeah. Rachel Zegler won the Golden Globe for Best Actress for this 2021 musical directed by Steven Spielberg. It was adapted from a stage musical by the same name. What? Most musical movies are adopted from a stage musical. Am I wrong?
Yes.
But
this is West Side Story.
Oh, okay. I actually like West Side Story. All right. Music. I'm your biggest fan. I'll follow you until you love me. And baby, you'll be famous. Chase you down until you love me. Or
it's Paparazzi.
Jeez.
What?
Typo. Cereal. Chocolatey Winter was a limited time edition of what marshmallow cereal? Chocolatey Winter.
The only marshmallow cereal I know is Lucky Charms. So that's going to be my guess.
Yeah.
I don't know any other marshmallow cereals. Eric says Lucky Charms my favorite. Lucky Charms, Lucky Charms.
Okay, MLB. 07 to 11, this reliever led the league in saves with 3 different teams: Arizona, Houston, and Detroit.
I got no clue.
No, this is
No
supposed
idea.
to be you.
Right, but it's AL. It's majority AL. Houston and Detroit. I don't know anything about those teams.
Oh, you don't know anything?
2007 from 2011. No idea.
Todd Jones.
Todd
I've never heard the
Jones.
name Todd Jones.
I don't
in my
know
life.
who Todd Jones is either.
Jose Valverde. I've heard that.
I have heard that too.
Eric Gagne. No.
Eric says Jose. That's the 2 votes for Valverde, which is more than I need to say sure.
Sounds great. NBA.
Sure.
What current Eastern Conference franchise was? Oh,
It's the Wizards, right?
yeah. Celebrity mashup. Okay. They got Jessica Alba.
I have no idea.
And that's the dude from I know that's Joe from he's Penn Badgley. Yes, thank you.
Penn Badgley. Okay. And Ann says Blake Lively.
We got a little Gossip Girl combo.
Mm.
Boom. 9 for 9, 349.
Wow. All right. Good stuff.
Easy board.
Outside of MLB.
Very easy board.
Yeah. I would agree.
So we'll take it though.
Yeah.
You got to win the games you're supposed to win, right?
This is true. This is true.
Back together season. Win the games you're supposed to win. All right, guys. That is it for us here on this Thursday. Thanks for you to like the show. Hit that like button. Subscribe to our channel.
Tomorrow's Thursday, but
what did I say?
You said Thursday.
Ah, damn it. All right. Well, tomorrow's Thursday. I'm glad I wish it was Thursday. All right. Hit that like button, and I'll see you tomorrow on Thursday. Buck Rising live tonight for A to Z Primetime. Catch you guys later. Appreciate it as always.